Hi, I'm Kerry. I'm the host of Best of Us Investors, and I think the world is changing faster than you think it is, and you need to be aware, I believe, of some changes that are going to happen that are going to change your world, particularly in light of the current pandemic and what it has done to our economy, what it has done to the world economies, and how our world has woken up to the inadequacies of our medical profession. We just are not in control of the various things that can harm us.
Best of Us Investors presents Kerry Griegmeyer.
I became aware of a new SPAC that is coming out that is being led by Jonathan Rothberg that is going to change potentially not only how I live, but how long I live. And I want to share that with you today. And I want to share an interview that I've captured with Jonathan Rothberg and bring it to your attention and see if you believe, like I believe, this is a game changer.
To have been at the start of genomics, where we made the first machines that decoded DNA rapidly, and we decoded Jim Watson's genome and the Neanderthal genome. And that was based on moving DNA sequencing, decoding the ACGT letters that are the molecules of life on a chip. And so I thought it was fitting that I would bring the band back together, and my team would decode, instead of DNA, which tells you what may happen in your life, instead we would decode proteins, which tells you what is happening, and we would take the same approach.
Jonathan Rothberg is a serial entrepreneur. He has been at the forefront of genome sequencing. He has been at the forefront of taking and creating machines that have artificial intelligence and machine learning to diagnose what is going on in our bodies. He has brought us, he was part of the group of people who brought us Illumina, which is the largest genome sequencing company, which is going to, I believe, eventually change the medical world and give people the ability to basically take diseases, genomic diseases, out of our DNA and such that our children, our grandchildren can grow up without the threats of cancer, of heart disease, of Alzheimer's, and many, many diseases that are part of our genes. It's basically, I guess, as I understand it, a inadequacy through breeding that has come up and broken down the perfect body of a human being. And so genome sequencing is going to do that. That has tremendous ramifications on newborns. The ability to manipulate the egg and the sperm to eliminate these fallacies. That doesn't do a whole lot for me, though. I'm 76 years old, and that's why I'm excited about this stock. That's why I want you to meet Jonathan and understand what he's doing. What he's basically doing is, rather than sequencing the genome, sequencing the protein. The genome is what's going to happen to us in the future. The protein is what's happening to us just now. I did a video back on December the 5th, how Google and their company DeepMind has created the intro into how to sequence protein. Jonathan has taken it a step further and is now creating the machine that will be available to researchers so that they can look at your protein and tell you what's going on in your body and how they can rectify anything that is inappropriate. Let me share part of the interview with Jonathan so that you have a better understanding. He understands it better than me, and I think he can explain it better.
After I put DNA sequencing on a chip, at Ion, now part of Thermo Fisher, I put an ultrasound on a chip. So I was very familiar with the advantages of semiconductors. And so I put together a team this time to decode the 20 letters that are made in proteins. So the diagnostic world is mostly proteins. We do DNA sequencing because it's hard or impossible to do protein sequencing in a convenient way.
Okay, so I hope that gives you some insight and excites you the way it did me when I saw this. Then I think the next question I had was, okay, if you invent this machine, what are the steps and who are the companies that are going to market this, and how is it going to turn into a good investment for me and you? Well, let me again allow Jonathan to explain that.
Same people we sold Ion to, that Illumina sold into. So we've sold to these same customers at least 3 times before. But now we're giving them a solution that gives them an answer in a digital format for something that was analog. Traditionally, protein diagnostics had been with antibodies. And now, just like DNA digitized cancer diagnostics, the next generation of immunodiagnostics and research for immunology and complex diseases will be based on getting more protein information in a digital format so you can apply artificial intelligence, deep learning, and make correlations. So our first customers are research labs, and then those research labs will create content that will allow them to do diagnostics first in CLIA laboratories. So it goes research, create content, to diagnostics. And we like that because we did that playbook at Ion, where we gave machines to people to do research into cancer, and then it became the standard of care for cancer diagnostics. Now we're going back to those researchers, giving them machines, and when they want to study, for example, what happens to the immune system in long COVID, huge problem. Now we'll give them our quantum SI machine to understand that problem. They'll identify markers that will allow people to follow the progression of the disease, treat the disease, right, understand the disease. And other groups, CLIA laboratories, will create diagnostics based on that knowledge. So we've done this playbook before, put it on the chip playbook 3 times before, and we've done the research tool, content to powerful diagnostic playbook twice before.
I encourage you to do your due diligence. Look up Jonathan Rothberg. Look at his history. It dates back to 1991, shortly after he graduated from Yale and started his first company, and then took that public. And he has a series of about 5 companies that he has taken public. So as I said, he's a serial entrepreneur. He deals in some things that you and I have no real understanding of, but I think you can glean from this that this is something that is going to change the way you live. Not only the quality of your life and the length of your life, but also the financial future of your life if you get into this on the ground floor and become an investor. I invested $10,000 into it this morning. Is it a long shot? I don't think it's a long shot, but it may take some time to come to fruition because I believe it is at a idea stage right now, understanding how things can be done, but the company and the machines, the therapy have to be built. This is one you're going to put on the shelf and leave it there for a while because I merely hope that I can live long enough to see this happen, and it can have a positive effect on my life, but I am quite certain it is going to have a positive effect on my children's and my grandchildren's life. So that's what I do. And again, I want to emphasize, I didn't come up with this. John Cook, who is a member of our tribe, and our tribe is a Discord, if you will, where we meet and we exchange ideas. This is an idea that Kerry probably never would have found without his Discord. There are 18,000 people there who share ideas on a daily basis. I share my portfolio so that you can see what I own and how it's doing. And it's not doing real well right now because I feel we are in a correction, but I'm confident that I'm invested properly because I'm invested in the companies that are going to change the way I live and how long I live and the quality of life that I have. That's what I encourage you to invest in. Don't get hung up on drastic movements. If you're going to chart things, if you're going to chart the S&P and the Dow, do it on a monthly basis. And you will see that historically, it just keeps going up because of innovation, because of technology, and because of things like this. Again, the stock is being marketed under the ticker CAPA. Its name, once it comes out of the SPAC, will be Quantum-SI. That's Quantum-SI. And do your due diligence on Jonathan Rothberg. And I think you'll find, like I, this is something I want to be a part of.